This week on the Island Times News Update, the Human Rights Ordinance is one vote away from becoming law in Atlantic Beach. Signs are back on the agenda in Neptune Beach. And Jacksonville Beach will consider major changes at the site of a well-known local bar. Welcome to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. A large crowd packed the Atlantic Beach Commission chambers Monday night as the Commission gave the Human Rights Ordinance its first official test. The ordinance was on the agenda for its first reading and official vote. The Commission passed the ordinance on first read, but not before 44 people made their way to the podium to again express their views on the ordinance. The public comments were overwhelmingly in favor of passage of the ordinance. The Commission, however, remains deeply divided on the topic, and while none of the commissioners is opposed to the idea of a human rights ordinance, both Commissioners Jimmy Hill and Jonathan Doherty said it's not an issue for the local government. Mayor Carolyn Woods said that the ordinance would not make major changes and really asks for very little.
Religious beliefs and freedoms will not be altered. Perverted behavior will not be legalized. What the ordinance does do, thank you, is expect employers and landlords to equally consider all qualified applicants. You can't say, I'm not qualified, but you have to hire me, because it doesn't work that way. Businesses will be expected to offer their services to all equally. Doesn't seem like a big ask.
Hill said that he's very concerned that the city was putting itself at ground zero for lawsuits. He said the city would become the fastest track into the court system for the LGBT community, and that the city needs to be aware of the potential consequences.
We are so concerned about unfunded liability in our pension, unfunded liability in our city, that we're going to enact an unfunded liability with what is estimated to be, and I know it's only an estimate, but $300,000 per incident exposure to our citizens for each incident, which there's no limit to the incident. So how do we do that? How do we financially prepare for what could be? And listening clearly to the advocates for the ordinance, it could be a non-issue. But that's not we're not able to work in the world of theoretical non-issues. We have to budget if we're going to expose our citizens to this financial burden. We genuinely, by law, have to make sure that is financially covered.
After a lengthy discussion, the Commission passed the ordinance 3-2, with Hill and Doherty dissenting. The HRO will be on the agenda again in August, and if it passes then, it will become law. The Neptune Beach City Council will discuss its sign ordinance at its regular workshop meeting Monday night. The council earlier this year extended a deadline for businesses to come into compliance with the sign ordinance passed 10 years ago by 6 months, with an option to extend that deadline for another 6 months. In the proposed ordinance revision, the 10-year deadline for replacing tall signs with low monument signs is stricken from the law, and signs would not necessarily have to be replaced when a business is sold. A new owner that wishes to retain the name and branding of a business would have the sign grandfathered in until some other trigger forced a change in the sign. Signs would have to be brought into compliance if there is a significant change to the sign, or if it's damaged by an accident or the weather. In Jacksonville Beach, the City Council will consider establishing a redevelopment district that would allow a new concept bar to be built in the location currently occupied by Mango's at 601 First Street. The applicant is a company called Surfworks, which has proposed a 2-story, 7,889 square foot concept bar building, together with a separate 1- or 2-story building with up to 3,000 square feet of leasable commercial space. The developer is also proposing a parking pad in the parking lot immediately adjacent to the bar building for a mobile food vendor. The rezoning is being requested because the location is within 500 feet of 2 other establishments that serve alcohol, Lynch's Irish Pub and Beau's Coral Reef. The Planning Commission recommended that the redevelopment district be approved by a narrow 3-2 vote, as long as there is no amplified music and any television placed outside have no audio, and that a 6 to 8 foot screening wall be built that would shield the second floor from adjacent properties. If the ordinance is approved, it will be on the agenda again in 2 weeks for possible final passage. The public may comment on the ordinance at Monday night's meeting. The Jacksonville Beach Special Magistrate has revoked the extended operating permit of the Pier Cantina for multiple violations of the city's Code of Ordinances. According to the order signed by Interim Special Magistrate Sonia Harrell-Honer, there were 2 violations of the city's municipal code within 180 days. The first was an open container violation, and the second was a fight at the establishment. The Pier's extended hours permit was revoked for a period of 30 days, and the order may be appealed to the Circuit Court of Duval County within 30 days. When we come back, Congressman Andrew Crenshaw addresses residents at Fleet Landing. This is the Island Times News Update.
Beaches Academy Child Care Center in Jacksonville Beach has been offering affordable, loving child care to families in the Beaches communities for 35 years. Conveniently located on Penman Road, Beaches Academy offers care for children from infants through preschool, with programs that encourage learning and outdoor play. Our affordable tuition means families can get quality child care at a price that fits their budget. Contact Beaches Academy at 246-3885 and schedule a tour of our center. Beaches Academy, the child always comes first. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning in Atlantic Beach offers a full range of residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services, from new installation to replacement and remodeling. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning can keep your home comfortable year-round, and they offer preventive maintenance contracts to keep your system running at peak efficiency. Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning is an authorized Bryant dealer and will service all brands. For year-round comfort in your home or business, contact the original Charlie's Tropic Heating and Air Conditioning at 241-1788.
Welcome back to the Island Times News Update. I'm Tom Patton. Congressman Andrew Crenshaw was at Fleet Landing in Atlantic Beach Friday morning as part of their series of seminars on aging. Crenshaw was one of several participants in the seminar, which also included representatives from federal agencies like Social Security and Medicare, as well as the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, which advised residents on issues relating to such things as identity theft. Crenshaw spoke on a variety of national issues, including ships that will be coming to Mayport and the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. On the subject of the border, Crenshaw said that there are things the president could do to alleviate the situation.
And this president could, by executive order and some of the actions he could take, to say, no, you can't come here. You'll have to go home. As harsh as that might seem, but until we send the message that you just can't come here illegally and stay here, it's going to happen more and more and more. And if you read the papers, the solution from the president was, he needs $3.7 billion to solve the problem. Well, that's not going to solve the problem. In fact, most of that money is going just to help make the process even longer. Somehow we need to actually look at a law we passed in 2008, which was based on human trafficking, and said, if you come here and you're being trafficked, then we'll give you asylum. And that was the right thing to do, but that's being abused now, and so more and more people are coming. We can change that law. That would be a step in the right direction to say, you just can't come here.
Crenshaw faces Ryman Schoaf in a Republican primary election on August 25th. Around the beaches, Rent opens this weekend at Players by the Sea in Jacksonville Beach. The show runs weekends through August 9th. Rent won a Tony Award for Best Musical and the Pulitzer Prize for Drama. The local production was directed and choreographed by Alejandra Rodriguez and contains mature subject matter. And the Atlantic Beach City Commission will hold a town hall meeting on Tuesday, July 22nd. The meeting will be held at the Gail Baker Community Center beginning at 6:30 p.m. Well, the National Weather Service says we can expect a return to a daily chance of afternoon thunderstorms through the coming week. Look for highs in the 80s and lows in the mid-70s. The Island Times is always digital, always free, at www.theislandtimes.com. Become a subscriber and get updates on news from the beaches communities delivered right to your email box. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Tom Patton. Thanks for watching.